Welcome, everybody, to the 90s First Take, the video game debate show on the news that you love. Well, my name's Mike. I'm welcoming you guys to the show. I'm very excited to pee. Wow. Anyway, we'll skip that. Edit
Sometimes
that one
you
out.
are.
Yes, actually, that's true. That is true. But I am excited to be accompanied by my good friend Cicero Holmes. Cicero, how you doing today?
Doing well, sir. I am also excited when I have to pee. I usually let out a woo. So there you go. So some podcasts have bam.
Ah, yes.
But this podcast will have a woo.
Or maybe not, because that woo is going above your gain, so it might not matter. Shout out to Destin.
Right,
shout out to Destin Legary.
Right.
But
yes, it's just a wobble.
And we are also joined by my good buddy, high school buddy, Sean Rugg. How you doing today, Sean?
Hi, I'm doing well. And regarding the other topic, I drink too much water to get excited.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Don't break the seal.
Well, it's good to have both of you on the podcast. We're gonna Jelly. We just had to reschedule, and Jelly does work nights, so we are recording on a Monday, where I had the night off for once. But anyway, we like to do here at the 90s First the Guts segment. You know, harkening back to the Nickelodeon game show that I personally grew up loving. But Cicero and Sean, do you guys have the guts to answer these questions?
Ooh. Bring it on.
Okay. Sean, we'll start with you. You've been on First Take before, but we added this segment a couple weeks ago. What is your favorite video game of all time?
I'm sure with everyone it's hard to narrow down, but when I was doing it, it was stuff that was like contained and either felt really good or made me cry. I think I finally narrowed it down to Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the beats are good.
Yeah, I haven't played that personally. So I guess my follow-up question to that would be, did you enjoy did you play the Legends of Hyrule one? Yeah, was that like a good spiritual successor, that type of deal, or do you think
I thought
did it capture you as much?
It didn't capture me as much, but I thought it was a good translation. It was a good mix of like Zelda and the original like Crypt of the Necrodancer mechanics. I can't really recall what the difference was, but that one I had played like entirely with my roommate. And I don't know, there was just something different about it. Maybe because it was less roguelike-y, I think. I'm really like that. Those things grab me. Like repeating it a lot. But yeah.
That's crazy. I feel like that was out of left field a little bit, but because I mean, I just didn't think that was coming, because I know how huge of a Nintendo fan you are and stuff like that. So I just didn't see it coming. Cicero Holmes, what is your favorite video game of all time?
Man, like Sean, this is really tough to narrow down. And I've been gaming for a really long time. I've been gaming for 5 decades, 4 decades, 5 decades, long time. But I thought about Strider for the NES, not the arcade version, but for the NES. If you've never played that game, you can finish that game in 30 minutes. But the ending of that game on a young, impressionable Cicero was very, very powerful. It's not an ending you see coming. So it's awesome. Go ahead and emulate that and play it in 30 minutes. I thought about Metal Gear Solid.
Gotcha.
The very first Metal Gear Solid. And how transformative it was, and in the same way Grand Theft Auto 3 or Mass Effect or Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, all of those games are games that are on my short list of greatest games of all time, best experiences of all time. But my favorite game of all time, if I have to choose, is a game that I am playing currently. And the name of that game is Elite: Dangerous.
Wow, another left field pick. Something you're playing currently.
Yeah,
Why is that, Cicero? What has Elite Dangerous captured you for?
So Elite Dangerous captures it. It encapsulates all of the things that I love about life. Right. So one of those aha moments for me at gaming as a young kid was flight simulators. Like, oh man, flight simulators are awesome because you can fly around and like this is real world stuff that you can do, and you like if I do this stuff, I might actually be better in life at a thing that is big and important. So that was really cool. For my entire life, I've been in love with space. I've been in love with the exploration of space, the science of everything that is there. And then I don't like big games anymore. Much like you, Mike, I enjoy them. I enjoy these open world games, but they're daunting. They're they occupy way too much space in my life, and I don't have space or time to invest in them in a way that will allow me to complete them to my satisfaction.
Yeah.
Well, Elite Dangerous is bigger than all of those games, but there is no end. You just play it how you want to play it, the way you want to play it, when you want to play it. And
that's cool.
That's what I love about this game. This game is a space flight simulator where you have roles. And my stepson last night asked me about it, and he was like, "Well, is there a story?" I'm like, "Yeah, kind of." Like he's like, "Well, what's the point?" You just do what you want. Like that's the point. You do jobs. There are a bunch of ships in the game. You do jobs until you can afford the ship that you want, and then you do the things with that ship that you wanted to do once you get it. So, and then maybe you'll find another ship that you want, and you can get better parts for that ship, and you do more things. So, it is completely nebulous. It involves real life physics as best we can approximate them in space, and it also has the Milky Way. It is a representation of the Milky Way galaxy with over 400 billion stars in it, star systems. So it is something that you can just play ad infinitum or ad infinitum, and just have a blast. I absolutely love this game. I love it.
So just on a quick side note, like, is this game in your upper echelon because you're such a huge Star Trek fan? Like, and I would presume like Firefly fan, like, just right. Those types of adventures in TV. You're kind of living that out in Elite Dangerous?
So yes and no, and you're like you're creating your own narratives, right? So like my love for sci-fi predates my knowledge of those sci-fi shows that are seminal to people who love sci-fi. There are times in your life where you realize, like, oh, I fit into this category. But before you knew the category existed, you existed within that category.
Yeah.
And that's how I am with sci-fi. That's how I am with sci-fi and space. I've just been hardwired to love that stuff. And there was stuff that fit into that. And Elite Dangerous is just another one of those things where it really does check all the boxes. So like, it was released. I got it the second it was released on early access for the Xbox 5 years ago. I had heard rumblings about it and Star Citizen and stuff like that, and thought like, oh, that would be cool to check out. I started playing it and immediately was like, oh yes, this is the crack that I always wanted and was afraid of. And then I wound up playing it on the Xbox for a long period of time. I had a bunch of friends that I was playing on Xbox with, but there was no cross play between Xbox and PC. And I had some extra Amazon money, so I bought myself a throttle and a flight stick to play on my gaming laptop, Elite Dangerous, because the full version of the game was like $15.
Oh wow.
So I bought it on PC. Then I bought this flight stick and throttle for like $150, and I went to play it on the laptop. And I was playing it on the laptop, but I didn't have enough space on my desk to have the throttle, the laptop, and the flight stick. So the next logical step was, of course, buy a bigger desk, right? Wrong. It was build a new PC. Spend $3,000 on a PC and monitor so that you can move the laptop off the desk, so that way you have more space on the desk to play.
So what you're saying,
to play this game.
What you're saying is,
right,
don't play Elite Dangerous because you'll run down this rabbit hole of spending thousands of dollars.
Well, what I am saying is that I'm not saying that I bought myself a brand new gaming desk, to play Elite Dangerous. But I am also not saying that I didn't buy a second monitor so that I could play Elite Dangerous on one screen and have all the third-party apps open on the other screen.
Yeah.
But I am saying that I do have a new desk and a new monitor, and I am playing Elite Dangerous on one screen, and I have all my third-party apps on another screen.
So what you're
now.
saying is, wait, are you playing while we're podcasting?
No.
All right, Sean. Last week, Cicero's good buddy Chris Clow had a really good answer for this question. He said the Mushroom Kingdom because there is only one person who gets kidnapped, and that is Princess Peach. So if you had to choose a video game world to move to and live in, which would it be?
I immediately thought not Mushroom Kingdom, because they're like, you're not going to get kidnapped, but there's a lot of other weird metaphysical things that are wrong with that whole place that I don't personally want to deal with ever. But yeah, where would I want to be? There's something about the world of Mortal Kombat, where at the very least, this isn't my answer, but like it came up, and at the very least, at the end of the day, everybody in their deepest down, everyone has a sense of purpose, which is to, of course, unite the one being, which was cut up by the elder gods, and that's where all the realms come from. But I mean, the rest of all that sucks, and I'd rather have a bigger purpose than that. I thought about Pokemon, even especially with all the darkness of it. If I survive being a 12-year-old, it'd be kind of neat. But I think what I'm really settling for is Butterfly Soup, which is basically just set in the real world, except it's also a world where some lesbians of color get to find each other and play sports and thrive. And I just think, let's have that. We'll just have a good baseball team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was that game again?
Butterfly Soup. It's like a visual novel on itch.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it's on Steam, but
Gotcha. Okay. Cicero, what world would you like to live in?
I'm gonna make this easy and refer back to a game that we just talked about, and not Elite Dangerous, because we kind of already live in that
Sounds
world.
kind of dangerous too. So
Could be.
I'm sorry. We can move on.
But I'll see myself out.
I'll see you guys later.
Right. But actually, I would love to live in the world of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay.
You can travel around to several different worlds that are in different states of technological evolution. Go and visit a Jedi temple.
Okay.
And there's lots of cool things that you can do.
I like it. Good choice. Good choice. We have Star Wars and then a butterfly visual novel. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good to hear those fun answers to the guts questions. I think you guys had the guts and you did well. Good job. So,
Yes.
Cicero, you've been playing Elite Dangerous, but it is time to say what we have been playing. Is that the only thing? Or
Oh, no, it is not.
What else have you been playing?
So very recently, I've been playing some Among Us.
Ooh, okay.
Finding out who the killer is. There is a great 1-minute video of Soldier Boy playing Among Us on stream and being accused of being the killer. And I would encourage all of you to seek that out
Okay.
because it is a thing to watch and listen to and experience. For those of you who don't know what Among Us is a cooperative game that you can play cross-platform, either on PC or on your mobile devices, where up to 10 people get together and are on a spaceship or a space station or on a ground base where you have to complete these tasks in order to escape, but at least one person in there is an imposter and is trying to murder everyone. So they will go around and murder people, the imposters will, and once the body is discovered, everyone gets together for an emergency meeting to vote on who they believe the imposter is. And if they get whoever receives the most votes gets ejected. If it is the imposter, then the crew wins. If it's not, and the imposter gets down to 2 people, then the imposter wins.
I have been YouTubing Among Us, like just binge watching. It is so fun to watch.
Yes.
It's I love it. I have it on Steam. I had a wonderful friend. Shout out to a patron, Jordan. He gifted it to me. It's only $5, so haven't had the chance to play. But Sean, have you heard of Among Us?
I have. I hadn't really heard anything specific other than it existed. I was about to watch a stream of it yesterday, but had another game to go do. But what I've heard from Cicero so far sounds like my jam. So
yeah. So I'm a big fan of a game. So, a lot of people may have played a game called Mafia at summer camp or what have you. I'm a big fan of the One Night Werewolf series. I've got like 8 of the different permutations of One Night Werewolf in my house, and my partner is tired of me whenever people are over. Whenever there's like at least 5 people around, I'm trying to pull this game out so that we can play it because it's a lot of fun. But Among Us is the same type of deal, but it's a lot more accessible because you can do it over the internet and people can have their phones and that kind of stuff. It is great fun. Free at least on the Google Store. I'm assuming it's free on the Apple App Store as well. And $5 on Steam. So, nominal purchase price to get involved. But Among Us is a lot of fun. Another game that I'm playing is Rocket Arena, or that I have played recently is Rocket Arena, which is, if the name sounds familiar, it may be because you were watching the EA Play press conference or showcase from earlier in June of this year, where that was one of the games that was displayed or talked about. It's an arena shooter that it kind of looks like an arena shooter made by Rare. Graphically, it looks a lot like what's the sailing game that I can't think of now? The pirate game.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, yeah, yeah. So graphically, it looks like Sea of Thieves, but you're jumping around, you're doing a bunch of stuff, and you're shooting opponents. It's 3 versus 3 battle arena. First to 20 wins. It's very easy to pick up and play. There's lots of really cool stuff that goes on in the game, and at least for right now, if you're a Twitch Prime member, you can get that game for free via Twitch Prime, on Twitch Prime via Origin. So you got to sign up for Origin if you're not already part of Origin, EA's Origin, and it's, you download it on Origin. I'm assuming it's also available in EA Access, so you can download it there because it is also crossplay. So,
okay.
So wherever wherever your friends are playing those games, you guys can play those games together, which is awesome. Last game that I'm playing is another one of those goofy games that I think is this one isn't crossplay, but it is Fall Guys. Getting some Big Eatus on. Fall Guys is awesome. Fall Guys is just a hell of a lot of fun on the PS4. I'm playing. I've heard there's a lot of there's cheats are kind of prevalent on the PC, so I'm glad that I'm playing on the PS4. And it was a PS Plus game, so I was able to get it for nothing, which is awesome. Hell of a lot of fun to play, and if you like BRs, battle royales, but don't have the ability or the time to get good at Apex or Battlefield, Battlegrounds or any of the other ones, Fortnite. This one is great because all you have to do is learn the techniques for the different rounds.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot of fun, and it's quick.
Yeah, Fall Guys took the world by storm. It was insane. I think part of it was, first of all, he's never going to listen to this, but the guy behind the Fall Guys Twitter account, bro, that guy's epic. He is so good at his job.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
He is so good at his job. Just like roasting Tim the Tap Man so much, about not getting wins and stuff like that. But yeah, nice. Fall Guys is it's pretty epic. Sean, what have you been playing, my friend?
Well, see, Thursday was my birthday, and Supergiant Games decided to give me the best unexpected birthday present and release Hades 1.0. Which I talked about last time I was on your podcast, but I hadn't played since because I was explicitly waiting for this to happen. So I've been doing that. And again, if you haven't heard of Hades, it's like a roguelike where you play the son of Hades, and the loop is that you're trying to escape that realm to go to the mortal world for a reason that gets revealed. And as you go through it, every time you go through, you can talk to a bunch of different people once. People like just classic Greek myth people like Orpheus or Hades. You can pet the dog Cerberus, and a bunch of the gods try to help you out. And you can date some people, and it's fun.
I have seen nothing but praise for Hades over, Twitter and just critically acclaimed. It's only like $20 on Switch, right? It's not too expensive. It's definitely one that I've been considering picking up myself, or really, just waiting for it to hit Game Pass. Do you think it's gonna come to other consoles?
Probably. I don't really remember if other Supergiant games like Pyre and stuff and Bastion do. Probably. I played Bastion on Xbox, so I assume it'll probably get there. But I'm totally out of that ecosystem, so what do I know?
There's a lot of games that I just kind of wait for to hit Game Pass, but sometimes I like purchasing them on my Switch so that I could just take them on the go. I have Into the Breach, and I have Celeste, and I have Dead Cells on the Switch, just so that I can keep up with it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm texting a friend trying to convince him to get this Series X. he's been contemplating like what system to get, either the PS5 or the Series X. But now this, we'll talk about it later. This Bethesda news has really made him switch his mind.
Bethesda news?
Wait, what?
What?
I don't think anything happened today. So what I have been playing, Sean, have you been playing anything else besides Hades?
Yeah, I've been playing Crusader Kings 3.
Your laptop can run that?
No, I have a PC for that
okay.
now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I game.
He's
on the
playing
PC.
Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, I'm basically playing Elite Dangerous.
Cicero, me and Sean go way back. We were high school friends. This guy, man, can I tell you this guy's laptop rig from back in the day?
Still happening today.
So
right now. That's what I'm using.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So what is the rig that he is using right now to podcast on? It is on a baking cooling rack with a clipped fan to the side to blow fan into the overheating laptop.
Nice.
And it's
Nice.
just amazing.
Nice.
Sean was probably one of the most resourceful PC gamers I've ever met, because he did not upgrade for a long time. Anyway, Sean, have you been playing anything else?
Yep, just Hades and Crusader Kings.
Okay.
That's pretty much been it.
Crusader Kings 3 got a 10 out of 10 from IGN. Like it's like super good.
Yeah. I think the thing is that these games have probably been good the whole time, but they just weren't accessible. And this one actually has a tutorial. I tried to play 2 maybe a year ago, and I just didn't get past like 20 minutes of menu navigation.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the thing where if you're the kind of gamer that like makes your own stories as you go along, you like to self-narrativize just the systems for like the relationships that there are here. It's really easy to tell a story, and I like watching other people play and hearing every time someone's playing it, like what happened in their run.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. And that game went straight into PC Game Pass for those PC Game Pass subscribers. So, all right, I've been playing Spellbreak. I've already talked about that at length. I've also for my streaming channel, I stream on Twitch, and I've decided to kind of go all in on Game Pass. Kind of switching my outlook on my streaming channel, and just I was for my streaming channel, I've always played like battle royales, and I've been playing like first person shooters, competitive games, and for the most part, like, I mean, nobody's gonna watch me because I'm not skilled enough. And the other part of it is that the multiplayer games are just so saturated with people trying to become content creators. So I've kind of switched my strategy, and I'm kind of going all in on Game Pass. So every single stream, I've been playing something from Game Pass, and Mondays I do Indie Mondays, and Wednesdays I do RPG Wednesdays. So I started Outer Worlds for the first time, and
all right,
that game is super fun so far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've only gotten through one of the bigger side missions, trying to get money for the Gravedigger there, and then I'm like halfway through one of the main first missions, but I'm very excited to get back into the world. The gunplay, the mechanics of the game feel good. It's just a fun game to play so far. And then I've also been playing Drake Hollow, which is a small indie game that's in Game Pass, and this one's like a resource management settlement building game where you are it's kind of fantasy like, where you're traveling through the Hollow, they call it, and it's you're trying to rescue these creatures called drakes that give you power-ups and stuff like that. So I just figured out that there's islands that you have to traverse to, and I just today figured out how to set up waypoints to go from each of the islands, and you connect them all, and you kind of grind on the rail that they design, and then you could just grind through pretty much most of the map now for myself, which is pretty fun. So been playing Tony Hawk. It's just so good, guys. Get it, $40, so worth it. And then finally, I did get Mario All-Stars, 3D All-Stars this past weekend. I did get the physical copy. I usually like to get those limited run physical copies. And I started playing Mario 64, and it's the first time I've played it since I was a kid. So definitely there's some camera troubles. I think one of the things that obviously Odyssey did so well was that, you know, the moons that you collected, it was all an open world basically. 64, you collect a star, you get kicked out of the level. Do you guys remember that? Like you're in a world, you get a star and you get kicked out. I'm like, that is so frustrating. So then I gotta go back into it and stuff like that. But overall, Mario 64 is a classic. So that is what I've been playing. You guys ready to get into some news?
Yeah, I mean, there was news.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm here to learn.
It's just a Monday, man.
So before we get into the huge news for today, let's give Sony their due diligence and their credit for what I believe was a really good showcase. Last Wednesday they had a showcase to basically. The whole purpose was to announce the price and the release date and, you know, get everybody hyped for it. So before we talk about some of the downfalls, let's talk about the positives here. Sean or Cicero, whoever wants to start, what games kind of stood out to you from this showcase?
Sean, I'll let you start.
The two that stuck out to me were the Miles Morales add-on for the Spider-Man game, which, I mean, I don't have a PlayStation, so I can't play it, but it looks dope. And I just love that character. And then the Demon's Souls remake looked really good. I didn't actually get into like the Souls franchise until like 2017, but I had wanted to since Demon's Souls came out on the PS3, and I never wrapped back around to that one. But I played like every other one that I could, and looking at that, it just looks just really well done when they were showing off it in motion.
So you never had a? Have you ever had a PS4?
No, I've never had a PS4.
Okay, so you've never played Bloodborne then, so...
I have not. Yeah. That's the other one. That's the other one I haven't.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that trailer, Cicero, maybe you could comment on this. That trailer was probably one of the best I've seen that showed, like, ray tracing and, like, the fast load times, right? That was a good trailer for Demon's Souls.
Well, did it show fast load times? That's a question that I have. The trailer looked phenomenal. And you know, and if you've been following Sony for a while, you've become accustomed to that. You've become accustomed to trailers that look fantastic. And to be fair, you've become accustomed to games that look equally as good, maybe not quite as good as the pre-rendered videos that you see prior to the game's release, but good enough that you're not sitting here and saying, well, you know, I feel duped, versus, you know, with what I got versus what I saw. Games that I saw that really moved the needle. If I'm being 100% honest, now the Miles Morales thing looked incredible, the Tinkerer, and if you're a big Spider-Man fan like I am, you know the significance of Miles Morales fighting the Tinkerer and why that's a big deal. And the Tinkerer looked great, and he had all the henchmen, and he's doing all the stuff. And Miles himself has different powers, but he also showed that he wasn't necessarily as an accomplished the hero and fighter as Peter Parker is. Like, all of those things were awesome. The Demon Souls looked awesome. I've owned a PS4 since launch, but I have not played any of those Souls games because like, life is hard enough. So
Very fair.
I hear you.
So right. So yeah. So, but I have listened to and know a lot of people who felt similarly to me, and have gotten involved in those games and have gotten incredibly frustrated, and then they had their aha moment, and they're completely in love with those games. And I don't know if I have the fortitude to get to that point. Yeah. So like, I saw that and it looked great, and I can appreciate the pretty, and the ray tracing, as you said, like, the ray tracing looked amazing in the trailer that we got to see, but it didn't, like, I wasn't paying attention to it in the same way that someone who was looking forward to playing that game would, simply because that's not me. But Ratchet and Clank is in my wheelhouse, and that game, to me, that's the game. Like, that is the game where, if somebody has the hardware and they want to show off what the game can do, what this console can do, that has been the game for me, where I'm like, oh, hey, there's all these particle effects, there's all this stuff going on, everything looks incredibly crisp and clear and bright and colorful, and, like, you don't have to have a beret on to be able to appreciate, like, how technically great this art is. So Ratchet and Clank looked amazing to me. What I will say overall, like, I think that showcase was great in terms of what it showed, but all I was looking for from that showcase was a release date and a price. And it took a very, very long time to get there, to get to those things. 6 weeks, well, hell, 3 weeks from the release date was when we got the release date and the price for that system. Now, another thing to talk about, I don't know if I'm stepping on toes here, but the PlayStation Collection, PlayStation Plus Collection, was another good thing that we've learned a little bit about, and that was another problem that I had with the Sony presentation, was that we got to see more games, which is great, but we didn't get a lot of explanation about anything. And at this point, I don't know, and this is important to me because I'm a tech nerd, but I don't know what the UI. They said that the UI was going to be different for the PlayStation 5. I don't know what the UI looks like.
Yeah.
They said load times are going to be better and greater and faster, but we really didn't see it. You saw something in Demon Souls that I didn't see because I wasn't paying attention.
It was basically those times where he would surround himself with clouds.
Right.
Those went super quick, and usually because he's transferring worlds or transferring scenes there, basically, and in the PS3 version that takes a long time. So.
Oh, okay, so that is something that you are aware of because of you're invested in the Souls-like world. So
I am not, but I read.
But that's something that you knew about.
I knew about that. Yeah,
right.
I read about it.
Right. Yeah. So that right. So that's kind of, it's one of those things where, because you're in the know, because you've got some information that wasn't readily available on the screen at that particular moment, that was something that you were able to appreciate. You were able to glean some insight on what that was displaying, But me as a layperson who has no knowledge of Souls, it was just some dude with some clouds. I don't care.
But they were fancy PS5 clouds.
They were fancy PS5 clouds. They were volumetric clouds.
Those were DualSense clouds. They were not single sense clouds at all.
Right. No, they were not 4 clouds. They were 5. 4 is greater than 5. So shout out to episode 1. But like that was so like the whole point of that presentation in my eyes was that it was supposed to sell people on buying this console whenever they said eventually at the end of that broadcast to go out and buy that console day one, November 12th.
Yeah.
For whatever price they were going to say, $499, $399. But part of that for me is like, all right, I'm going to be able to have great experiences on this console, but like when I'm not having those great experiences, when I'm not playing those single player exclusives that Sony is known for, and I'm playing everything else, all of the third parties on there, what's that experience going to be like? What's my community going to be like? What's the interface going to look like? How am I going to interact with those things? None of that stuff was shown to me. And that's important to me. And I don't know if it moves the needle for everybody else, but it was something that I was looking for, and that was something that Microsoft even briefly showed us, but still showed us.
I mean, they haven't shown us briefly. They had that, I think it was like a 5 to 7 minute video on the interface itself, and like Microsoft's interconnectivity between your console, your PC, and now your phone.
Your phone. Right.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like PS5 is going to be an amazing console because it has amazing games. Let's just be frank.
Right.
Miles Morales, Sean, you hit it on the head. That trailer was phenomenal. The way they mashed up all the combat with the music, the soundtrack itself sounds like it's going to be amazing. And just from that trailer alone. But at the end of the day, I think, Cicero, I'll agree with you, but I think the biggest thing that kicked themselves in the pants is that Miles Morales and Horizon Zero Dawn, the sequel, Forbidden West, they're both going to the PS4. In my mind, there is no real reason to upgrade to the PS5. I mean, if I play Miles Morales on the PS5, there is going to be faster load times. There's going to be ray tracing. There's definitely going to be some quality of life things that you're going to experience. But at the end of the day, like I think that news kind of hurt them a little bit. Now, just hurt them in my mind. The let's talk about the pre-order debacle. They went like crazy. Sean, did you see what happened with the pre-orders?
I saw other messiness within the showcase itself, but not the pre-order thing now.
So, just to explain, what happened is that Sony tweeted out, and so did Jeff Keighley, pre-orders go live tomorrow at like 11 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah, literally at the end of the showcase.
Walmart tweeted out and said, pre-orders are live now.
F your couch. That's what they. I mean, that's basically what they. That's basically what they said. They literally came out and said, "Oh, you think we're gonna let you wait until tomorrow to pre-order when you could pre-order today? We ain't about that life. So go ahead and pre-order today." But the other part of that though is weeks before that, Sony was like, "Hey, if you want to pre-order,
the email
here's this email, put in your information with your PlayStation ID, and we will enter you into a drawing to see if you will be granted the honor to pre-order a PlayStation 5 once we announce that all of that information." So now you've got this presentation, and they end the presentation with, "Here are the prices for the respective consoles. See ya." Oh yeah. Oh wait a minute. Here are the prices for the respective consoles. But wait, there's one more thing. Oh, here's a splash screen of a God of War game that's coming out in 2021. The end, and you're like, oh, okay. Well, we know the system's coming out November 12th, but when can we pre-order? Oh, I guess we're gonna get that email, and then Jeff Keighley's like, oh, pre-orders will be open tomorrow. Oh, okay. I guess you'll be getting an email tonight saying that you'll be ready to go tomorrow. And then Sony was like, oh, what Jeff Keighley said. That's right. But again, no more instructions about that.
It was
and then Walmart was like, whatever. Like, we do what we want.
So
we gonna get this money.
Their tweet was literally a link to their pre-order site and a smiley face that went like this with their hand, a hand above their mouth. You know,
like,
oopsie.
oops.
Like,
Yeah.
so
sorry, not sorry.
In my estimation, I can guarantee you Phil Spencer went straight into his email and emailed Walmart and was like, "Hey, this is if you do this for us, there's going to be some serious consequences."
Right.
You know, despite us, kind of bagging on PS5's messaging, they're still doing some things right. They're getting some fantastic games. They got Final Fantasy 16 as an exclusive, whether or not that's timed or not. I do think the PS Plus collection that you alluded to, Cicero, is a pretty good deal and more of an incentive to subscribe to PS Plus, even though they are old PS4 games. We get that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is a great service and incentive for someone like Sean.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that's for me.
Right,
Like,
right.
If I was looking for to get it at get a PS5 at launch, that would that's kind of the only reason.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a big reason.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Right. Like you get access to, and even someone like me who was a PlayStation 4 gamer, but it was not my primary console. I did play it for exclusives, but I didn't play all of the exclusives.
Yeah.
So there were several exclusives that I missed simply because, the timing wasn't right or whatever, whatever the case may have been, that I would have access to as a result of having this collection that I could also ignore in the current generation, in the PS5 generation. The same way I ignored them before, but at least I can download them and have them
Exactly.
and like start the screen, get a trophy, and then turn it off, say it's good, and then never play it again. So I'm actually seriously, honestly looking forward to doing that. But yeah, so like there are people that the PS5, for some group of people, these consoles will be their first consoles. Will be their first big boy consoles.
For a lot of them.
Yeah.
They're gonna sell some.
And to be able to right. So to be able to experience PS4 stuff, some fantastic titles from the PS4 generation on your new console is going to be a boon.
So Sean, have we sold you on the PS5?
Not quite yet.
Okay. All right. Well, let me sell you on the Series X, gentlemen. I woke up this morning. I'm taking care of my kids, and I finally pull up Twitter, and literally I see the announcement 8 minutes after it was tweeted. 8 minutes.
Nice.
Xbox, Microsoft buys Bethesda. They buy Bethesda, which means they bought Elder Scrolls. They bought what's that? What's that Star game? Wow, this is a video game podcast. Roll the credits.
Right.
Starfield. There it is.
Yes,
they bought Starfield. They now own Doom. They own Prey. They own the Evil Within series. They own Arcade, the Dishonored series. Let's go your way first, Sean, because I know you have been in the past a huge Elder Scrolls fan. What do you think of this move?
I mean, it's a good one from them to make. I mean, I hit like most of a lot of those series, like especially like the Dishonored Arcane and Deathloop looks like it's gonna be great. I mean, they said that's still gonna be honored for like the exclusivity and the wide console releases or whatever. But they're still putting out good stuff that look interesting and compelling. So pulling that in, whether you make it, whether you make everything exclusive or not, I doubt they're going to. You know, I think it's a good pull. It's a known brand. It's a known like developer that people like a lot. So
yeah, this is just a huge power move. Throughout the Xbox One generation, the narrative for Xbox has been, we don't have any single player games. There's no single player games. There's no sprawling RPGs. There's no big story driven titles. And they just bought one of the best publishers, best game developers to do it, who have done it, who have shown the expertise behind it. Cicero, what are your thoughts on this deal, man?
Well, first off, put some respect on Microsoft's name. They did not buy Bethesda. They bought ZeniMax.
All right.
They bought the parent company. All right. So not only do they get Bethesda, but they get id Software. They get all the other groups of companies that that fell below ZeniMax. So like you said, so games like Dishonored and Doom and the new Prey and the old Prey, so it's like there are all these great games and all of these great franchises that they now have the rights to, that they own. And I mean, this is definitely a boon. You and I talked about this early this morning. That was the first thing I did. The first thing I learned this morning was that you reached out to me to let me know that Bethesda was purchased by Microsoft. So that was
sorry
a hell of a
if I
thing.
woke you up.
No, you did not wake me up. It was officially 12 minutes after my my alarm went off. So,
I was too excited.
It was no. Please share the excitement with me. I love it. But like, so it is definitely a boon for Game Pass and for Microsoft, and it like the great thing for Microsoft is they've got this service, Game Pass, that now has even more, like, it was the best value in gaming hands down before this, and now it's absurdly valuable. Simply because if you are a console gamer or a PC gamer, you have access now to some fantastic games across the board, with all of the Xbox studios, which raises the number of Xbox studios from 15 to 22.
Yeah, that's insane.
With this acquisition, but it also is a great deal for Microsoft. So if you think back to the Mojang acquisition, where this was a game that was ubiquitous across all of these different platforms. It wasn't that Microsoft pulled it from all the platforms and said, no, my precious. They said, hey, everybody can play it. Just pay us the money.
Yeah.
And we'll enjoy your ability to play our games on your platform all the way to the bank. And they're going to do the exact same thing for the most part. Like, there will probably be some really, really fantastic AAA titles that would have been multi-platform that came out of one of the ZeniMax studios that Microsoft is going to hold on to and say, if you want to play this, the way you play this is via Game Pass. Now, what the vehicle you use to play that game is going to be your choice, but we just so happen to have these consoles at a console at a very, very affordable price, a console at a
premium console,
less affordable, a premium price for a console, but an incredible value for what you're getting. We will provide you very palatable ways to acquire those consoles via all access. Or if you're a PC gamer, or you'd prefer to play them at the highest fidelity possible, then you can play them on your PC via Game Pass Ultimate, and we're happy to have you any way you decide. So I think that that's going to be the case, but it won't mean that Elder Scrolls 6 won't be on the PlayStation consoles as well. But it will mean that Elder Scrolls 6 will cost you money on the PlayStation consoles as opposed to it being part of Game Pass on the Microsoft consoles.
So let's just transition right into our first topic for Test Your Might, our debate section on the video game news.
Test your might.
Sean, you kind of alluded it to start, so why don't you start us off? What do you think Microsoft's plans are with Bethesda and ZeniMax Games? Do you think they're going to be exclusive or no?
I think what Cicero was saying is exactly right. I mean, it's going to probably be, they're going to keep things multi-platform, except for maybe like one or two, just like, every once in a while it's going to be, hey, this is a big one. It's maybe probably a single player one. This is ours, sort of a situation. I mean, they've kept stuff like Destiny and Destiny 2 multi-platform, and like that's tied pretty heavily to like their Halo studio, right? And I don't know. I just feel like as long as they're getting the money at the end of it, like the big end money, the final purchase money, it doesn't really matter. They probably won't care what console you play it on, for the most part.
Cicero.
Yeah. So Destiny and Destiny 2, just point of order, and Halo were all created. All created by Bungie. But once Destiny, once Bungie went on to make Destiny, they had become an independent studio. Then were purchased by Activision, and then Activision was building out Destiny, and they're now independent again. The Halo duties has transitioned over to 343, which was made up of former Bungie employees. Just for clarification's sake. But what was the question again, Mike?
Actually, you just answered it. Is Bungie a Microsoft studio?
Right. Yeah.
No. Do you believe ZeniMax Games are going to be exclusive to the Xbox platform, or no?
No. I mean, I actually answered. That's asked and answered. That's some lawyering for you. Lawyered objection. So, right. So, that was. I mean, that's kind of what I had said in the previous question. That I don't think that they're going to shut everybody out, because that doesn't make any sense, because they want to make money, and they know that. Irrespective to what they have behind their gate, there are just going to be a group of people that won't cross that gate. And so you've got to go where the gamers are. And right now, whether they like it or not, on the platform side, the gamers are on the Sony platform, on the Sony console. So they're going to go where the gamers are for certain games. But there will be games for the biggest games. And I think the biggest game is Elder Scrolls. So Elder Scrolls 6 will be multi-platform. There may be some timed exclusivities with Microsoft, maybe, but it will definitely be on Game Pass. So that's going to be a big get from that perspective. But I think there will also be some games that are big, that may move the needle, that are some Sony players' favorite franchises that won't be available on the Sony platform because Microsoft owns the studio that makes that game, and the only way for them to play that game would be to either buy a Series X buy a very, very affordable Series S, or if they have a PC and own Game Pass. So,
Sean, Cicero brought up a good point there. Do you think that Microsoft would do timed exclusives instead of full exclusives? Like, let's say Elder Scrolls 6 comes around 6 months, you can only play it on the Xbox or PC platform. What do you think about that?
I think it's definitely going to be tantalizing for them to do. I can't remember, like, I don't know if they've really done it before. I just kind of assume everyone's kind of done it once or twice, using timed exclusives. But yeah, I mean, again, they're like, with the acquisition, they've like already bought something that is timed exclusive for PlayStation, so I don't know why they wouldn't do it on their side eventually.
Okay.
GTA 4 was a timed exclusive for the Xbox.
Okay.
360.
Yeah.
360.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
yeah, that was a big deal. and then the DLC, the Ballad of Gay Tony, and and Lost and Damned came out on Xbox first. Yeah. That was a big deal. And then Sony responded by taking Call of Duty and
biggest video game franchise.
Getting Call of Duty exclusivity for their stuff, and then followed that up with Destiny exclusivity.
So do you think, Cicero, going on that, do you think there's some type of world where DLC is exclusive for a time? Like, do you think it's the Oblivion Horse type deal with Elder Scrolls 6?
Yeah. Right. I don't know. I think the thought will be that if we're gonna make the game multi-platform, then it's multi-platform, right? Where you can have your buyer's remorse if you're not on the home platform is in the fact that everyone that is on the Xbox, in the Xbox ecosystem, is playing that game for the price of a subscription service, and you're paying full price for it. And I think that's going to be the thing where, if the next, I don't know if E3 is really going to be a thing anymore, considering that I'm not sure we'll actually be allowed to go outside and be amongst people next June. But like, when that time comes around, when it's time to do video game promotion again, and Microsoft is sitting out in their money bank, like, Scrooge McDuck in diving in their thing full of studios, and they get to talk about all of the games that are coming out from their studios, and they stop at the ZeniMax group with the Bethesda and the id and all that other stuff, and they start listing all of the names of games and showing sizzle reels and trailers of all of these games that are coming out. When they say this one is wide release, these are exclusives, that's where they're going to be able to make their pitch to gamers. If you're a console gamer, oh, these games are on Game Pass, oh, these games aren't even coming to your system. That's where the pitch is made, and not in DLC, because DLC is an option. And and quite honestly, if you're a Game Pass player now, you know that DLC by and large is not included. You can get it at a discount. But you still have to buy that DLC if you want that DLC. So I think they'll continue to do it that way.
I think there's two routes here. I think we've alluded to both. I think one of them is how, I'm going to use the word, how sexy of an argument would it be to be, hey, 3 times a year where one of those studios is sending out a game to all the platforms? How attractive is it to say, hey, you can spend $70 of your own money on PlayStation 5, or you could be on Xbox's platform and it goes straight into Game Pass day one on release. Basically, for $10 a month, for $15 a month, you can play Elder Scrolls 6. The other side of me, for so many years being an Xbox gamer and for PlayStation to do us wrong, so to speak, in a lot of different ways, there is a part of me that says, "Hey, let's be mean here a little bit," but I really don't think that's the Xbox way. So I think I agree with you guys, but it could you imagine, Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield even just on the Xbox platform? I think it would be crazy, and it would certainly sell consoles. I have no doubt about that. Sean,
The correct way to play those is with mods anyway, so PC.
Yep. Yeah.
Sean, let's move on to our next topic. Hogwarts Legacy, a game that was surprise. I mean, it was rumored, but it was kind of surprise revealed at the PlayStation Showcase last week. First of all, looks amazing, looks super fun. But I do believe that it could go down as one of the most divisive games ever because of a certain person, J.K. Rowling, surrounding the IP, basically. I guess the question is, do we agree with this division? And the division would be, should you buy the game because it's Hogwarts and Harry Potter related and therefore J.K. Rowling is? Or shouldn't you buy the game, rather? Or should you buy the game to support the developers and realize that J.K. Rowling is not actually a part of this story? She has not been included in the development of this game at all. Sean, what is your take on that?
My take on it is, like, a lot of people are going to turn to, like, Death of the Author, etc., for, like, why it's totally cool to get this. But the fact, and, like, even, like, and within that, her, like you saying, not being directly tied to any of the writing or anything with this game, but they're still drawing on a world that, like, has within it a lot of these problematic things that people are talking about, and, like, still is shaped by her worldview continuously. And at the end of the day, Death the Author doesn't super work well when when the author is still alive and going to profit off of this. Is kind of my main take of it. And it looks great, and it could be a lot of fun, and a lot of people have been looking forward to this existing and, like, having a good less on the rails Harry Potter game for a long time, but there's plenty of other games out there. On the side of, like, supporting devs and stuff, again, not, as you could probably tell again already from my answers to previous questions, I'm not super into the specifics of like the business side of video games, but what I do know is that the people that actually make the games, on the, like, lower tier or whatever, like the people actually doing the coding and such, they move around so much that, and, like, they don't often get like rewards for the game selling well, so you're not actually helping them at all by buying this game for the most part. What you're maybe doing is helping the manager, who probably, is also probably a jerk like J.K. Rowling. So. That's me keeping it nice.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping it nice. Listeners out there, I had a conversation with these two beforehand just to kind of keep it melodramatic. So, Cicero, what melodrama do you have?
Well, if I can echo the words of Comrade Sean over there. I completely understand and respect the perspective that Sean brought. But the thing is done, and you have the choice. So if you have a problem with Harry Potter because the creator of the world is problematic, and some of, like, the world was influenced by her worldview, which is completely valid, then you stay away from it. And not only are you staying away from this game, but you're probably staying away from the books, you're probably staying away from the movies, you're staying away from lots of media that's associated with this property. However, if you're not doing those things, then this is something that you probably, you're potentially looking forward to. And that's the camp that I'm in. No judgment whatsoever if you're not in my camp and you're more in Sean's camp. I'm looking forward to what this idea is, because it came out of the Sony conference, and I don't want to sound like that dude, but there was it was just a trailer and that was it. If all I saw was this trailer, I don't know anything about this game outside that it exists, and it seems like it is an MMO in the Harry Potter world from the 1800s, which, if that's what it is, that sounds cool. I would love to know more about it. And then move forward from there. But yes, support the devs. Yes, Sean is right. They've probably all been laid off since then and are now looking for jobs someplace else. And hopefully, because of COVID, one of the good things about COVID is now these guys aren't getting laid off and are forced to move to some other place, halfway across the country to work and rinse and repeat this all over again, uproot their families for 3 or 4 years to go and continue to do this. They can now just kind of sit in place and either, if they're still supporting the game, continue to work on the game, and then get another job remotely and work on some new project, which is cool. But there are lots of great people that work in the games industry. If there's anybody that's a jerk, it's the principals of the company that are making the lion's share of the money beyond the licensing that they paid to the Harry Potter Corporation, whatever that is, Rowling Inc. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this game is all about.
Yeah, and Sean, this is not to majority rule you, but I am in that camp as well. But I do I think the sentiment is clear with what Cicero said. I think you definitely have a choice. And Sean, if there's anything that you've persuaded me to think more about, is that yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hands in this game that are also moving on, like you said, with the coders and everything. So, just thinking about it from that perspective, I can somewhat understand some of the argument from your side a little bit more clear than what I was originally thinking, because I was like, hey, let's these devs have worked tirelessly on this game. Let's still give them the money. I mean, this is in the 1800s. There's presumably nothing to do with the Harry Potter world. When he was not the world, sorry, that is his world. You know what I'm saying? Presumably nothing to do with Harry Potter himself. So I don't know. I think
Daniel Radcliffe is sitting there coding away.
I think it's
Hermione's like, the code is not like this, it's like this.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, on those notes, I totally agree with Cicero. We don't know anything about it yet, and it's just keep in mind. It's just always when you play it, if you're gonna play it, just keep in mind, look out for these things that other people are insisting are likely going to be there just because of how the world is. Just look at what you love critically. That's really what it is at the end of the day, if you're gonna do it.
Absolutely.
Let's think critically about Nintendo. I've seen
what a segue.
Thank you, sir. They call me Mike Segway Anstead. No, they don't. Don't quote me on that.
Yes.
Nintendo seems to be getting away with a lot. I have seen rumblings around Twitter and just the video game sphere that there's a lot of people dissatisfied with this recent Mario collection, the 3D All-Stars, because they didn't spend a good amount of time kind of remastering, especially Mario 64 and its camera woes and its, trying to move 64 to a more accessible and modern feel. Do you think we should let Nintendo slip by on this, guys? It seems like they've been doing a lot of just reselling and not doing much to up the ante on some of these old classics. Should we let Nintendo slip by on this one? Cicero, I'll go your way first.
Do we let them? Man? Will they? Yes. Because they do this all the time. Nintendo does what they want. And they do it how they want. They dare you to say anything about it. And the second you start talking, they turn their back on you. They don't care what you have to say about the thing. You're going to buy it anyway. So shut up. Like, just do it already. Like, we know what it is.
That's
the Nintendo's like
that's the famous tagline. You're gonna buy it anyway. Just stop it.
Right? Yeah. So this is the same company that came out and said, we don't think online is a thing. So whatever. And now they've got their great new innovative mobile console that you can hook up to your system, and then you can take on the go. And you can talk to people and do all this stuff. But in order for me to talk to you while we're playing the same game, I've got to call you on my phone using the app from the game.
Can we just Discord at this point? Can we just...
Right. And then I can't use my phone as a phone while I'm talking to you? Because if I get a phone call, then it just messes the whole thing up. There's no Bluetooth on the portable device that I have, so I can't have wireless headphones while I play this portable device in 2020. No. Like, they don't care. They just do whatever they want. So look, if the Mario, and I'm calling it Mario, it's not Mario, it is Mario.
Okay, all right. I need to pause. I need to pause here because every time you've said Mario, I have laughed. Laughed internally so hard because it is the funniest thing.
Yeah, his name is Mario.
What?
It is right there you go. It's Mario, right? And Luigi Mario. It is Mario, and you can at me and we can have that fight and you will lose, and that is okay. I encourage you to come and lose.
Have you seen that rage quit from Achievement Hunter, Cap Mario? He's oh dude, watch that video. He plays this game called Cat Mario, but he's like screaming at the top of his lungs because he's rage quitting. He's like, Cat Mario. Right. It's funny. So Cicero, you say Nintendo's just gonna do what they want to do.
I mean, Nintendo's gonna do what they want to do. Every couple of years they release something with Mario on it. People have something to say. They lose their respective minds, and then they buy it anyway in droves. That is the exact same thing that will happen, has already happened, and will happen again.
Sean, your thoughts?
It's gonna be another pretty much completely agree. What are we gonna do other than complain? Well, I'm not gonna complain about it. In this case, my roommate did that. He probably bought it in part to complain about it, honestly. Yeah, I mean, we know, like, Nintendo, when they want to do something, they know how to make it, like, special, and it's clear in this case they just didn't, and that happens. We got to deal with it.
You know, that happens. um, I personally, I think Nintendo has gotten a lot of slaps on the wrist, so to speak. I really think they should have done a little bit more with this compilation with the 3D All Stars. I really do. You know, I'm no game coder, but I feel like they could have spent some time to make at the very least Mario 64 with the ability to free look with the right stick instead of the camera that it has. In their defense, at least for this game, I own a GameCube. Mario Sunshine, if you want to buy the GameCube version, is $80 to $100 used.
Right.
And at the very least, you are getting Mario Sunshine, Mario 64, one of the greatest video games of all time, and Mario Galaxy, another greatest video games of all time, for $60. So you're getting 3 games for $60. I will defend it that way. I do wish that they did a little bit more, but I do still think it's a great combo of games. Do you guys have anything else on Nintendo?
No goat on that Sunshine at the end there. Oh, the other two got it. I don't know what happened with the
Oh,
Sunshine.
I've never played Sunshine.
I'm just kidding.
I've actually.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I've
You've never played
I've
Sunshine?
Never played
Sunshine was great.
So it cannot be a greatest of all time if I've never played it.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Oh,
That's
well,
fair.
you know,
Those are the
From my
rules.
perspective.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo knows how to make delightful games, and like Sean said, when they know how to do it, they do it. And they know how to make very special games. But you know, and they very much walk to the beat of their own drum, and every now and then, that drum is on rhythm with the rest of the gaming world. But most of the time, it is on the 1s and 3s. And not the 2s and 4s. Sometimes it's on the 1s and 5s. It's just like, whatever.
Let's make a cardboard game that will sell.
Sure. Yeah. And it did.
It did.
Yeah, it did. It was a fun idea.
Oh, yeah, I think
Right,
definitely
like-
a fun idea.
Like, you know, like if you have pets, if you have a cat, that thing is destroyed. But it's sold. You know, I mean, look, they just made Mario Kart the RC video game.
Mario Kart.
Like-
I'm going to start
like
pronouncing it that
this-
way just because of you, Cicero.
Because that is the correct way to say it. But like they just made Mario Kart the RC real life ARG RC game that you control with your Switch, that also has cones and cups that come with it that you can buy, and have multiple people come over with Switches to control real life RC cars. You're rearranging your living room to play a video game in your living room.
I mean, that was one of the best announcements out of that direct.
Exactly. Exactly. What? It is every G.I. Joe. Like, Nintendo makes every G.I. Joe commercial you had ever seen as a kid. And they just make it real life. Like, oh, I've got to get the USS flag because I've got a puddle in my backyard that I can put the flag in. And then I can play this giant, you know, no, you can't. But they make you believe that you can, and you will buy it.
Sean, what you got?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, that just is a lot, specifically the cone situation is a logical extension of something I thought, which is I've been like such a good natural driver because I played so much Mario Kart and other racing games as a kid. So, you know, getting the actual driver's ed portion
Right.
also into the experience,
Yes.
like that's just going to create a
No.
next generation of perfect drivers before the smart cars come
There
out.
you go.
And everybody listening, I can vouch for Sean's driving skills. They are top notch. I've been in a vehicle not scared for my life, so that's good.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it is time for our leaderboard section, where we compile the top 5 of any topic that we decide to go with. We usually try to tie it to the news, and so this week, with the release of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Super Mario 3D All Stars.
Great job, sir.
Yep, no problem. We are going to try as a group to compile the top 5 game compilations of all time. So, with that being said, Cicero, let's go your way first. What is your first couple suggestions? Why don't you give us 2 suggestions that you believe should be in the top 5?
Midway Arcade Classics, Volumes 1 and 2.
Midway Arcade Classics. Okay. Let's just put them out as one line item. Is that okay?
Sure.
For 1 and 2? All right.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Cicero, what would be your next suggestion?
Rare Replay.
Rare Replay. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that one, to be honest. Cicero, just really quickly, why Midway Arcade Classics 1 and 2, and why Rare Replay, if you could sum that up.
Midway Arcade Classics is exactly what it sounds like. It is arcade games made by one of the greatest arcade developers of all time, Midway. So this game compilation has classics like Rampage World Tour and Rampage, Smash TV, Robotron.
Okay.
One of my favorite games, arcade games of all time, APB, has lots of really great games. And another thing that I love about compilations or love about gaming is gaming history. So this one also has museum pieces and videos about some of those great games. So Midway Arcade Classics, great.
And then Rare Replay, why would you suggest that one?
Rare Replay, another one of those things where, like, here is a company that has made some games that when you think of them, you can immediately punch off five games, and then there are 25 more that you are aware exist, or there are 20 more that you were aware existed but had no idea that Rare made them. And then there are 5 that you had never heard of before, and you're like, holy crap. And much like Midway Arcade Classics, as you play the games and as you get better and you unlock more stuff, you get to hear and learn about the development of those games and all of the great history behind them.
Yeah, Rare Replay is great. Mm-hmm. Or on Game Pass, right? Should be on Game Pass, I think. Sean, why don't you hit us with 2 suggestions of yours?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with start with probably the obvious one, given the genesis of the topic, but the original Super Mario All Stars. I'm gonna say Mario because it's named after the family, for sure.
Okay.
They're all in there. And for my second one, I kind of want to just give a shout out to the Sega Genesis Play TV. It's like one of those dumb plug and play things where you have the little controller and you just plug it into your TV, and there's like 6 Sega games, including like Mean Bean Machine and Sonic the Hedgehog. And it was a cheap buy that got me through a summer, you know?
Okay, so Sega plug and play console. Okay. I was definitely thinking like video games that come to a console, but we could swing it that way. I'm totally down
I mean,
with it.
it's all there. It's basically, it's just a compilation instead of putting it in into your system. It's just a mini thing.
All right, gentlemen. Sorry, Sean, why... I think you explained Sega Plug and Play. Why Super Mario All Stars? I feel like, I mean, you might not have to explain it, but why would you suggest that?
I suggest that one because it's like in parts because it's everything that this new one isn't. It's something where they went and rethought all of the games and did something with them, where they actually like went to like change all the graphics, whether you like that or not. That they all kind of like boosted them up to make them more like Super Mario World, which came out kind of around the same time. It's something that they actively did. They went and thought about what glitches are canon to Mario, and like what to keep and what to get rid of. So they altered gameplay in that way. They also gave us like lost levels as something that you might not have experienced before. And it's just, they're all just really good games all in there. So
I hear you. And with this Mario Celebration, the All-Star Collection is in the Switch Online service. So if you guys want to go play that, if you're listening, go subscribe to that. $20 a year to talk to your friends on your cell phone. All right. Gentlemen, let me propose the Master Chief Collection. I don't think there's a better modern compilation, I would say, than the Master Chief Collection. I mean, Halo 1 through 3 is... I really hold near and dear to my heart. I will give 343 their slap on the wrist. The launch of that game was bad. It was very bad. I could not...
Halo 5?
No, the Master Chief Collection.
Oh, the Master Chief Collection
yes.
in general. Yes, sure.
It was... You could not play with your friends at the start of the game. The matchmaking was horrendous. But they truly fixed it, and then they eventually added Halo Reach and ODST to the mix. The Master Chief Collection has fantastic games, all for $60. Or I mean, it's probably cheaper now. Actually, it's in Game Pass. So
It's in Game Pass.
How many times are we going to mention Game Pass this round? Another compilation. I'm gonna go recent again, if you guys don't mind. Regency Bias, is that what something that's called? I honestly
Recency bias.
I honestly got to put up. Did I say Regency?
Yes, but,
Yep.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
It is.
I have language issues.
You just love some Jane
Words
Austen.
are-
Yes,
words
it is, right.
I have to put the recent Tony Hawk release, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 together in one compilation for $40. And you know, something attuned to what Sean said about Super Mario All-Stars. Vicarious Visions did their work. They updated the graphics. Right. Everything is beautiful, stunning. I've played it on my 4K TV. It's phenomenal, and just brings you back to the nostalgia that I felt as a 1999 kid, you know, playing the first one on my N64. So,
and they did a great job of marrying those two games together, as opposed to just up-resing those games, remastering those games, and keeping them separate. You know, they've allowed you now to play those games as if they were one complete game.
Exactly.
Which is pretty brilliant.
Yes. Cicero, do you have any other suggestions?
For compilations, no.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh man, you were so contemplative. You're like, no. That was great. Sean, I think you're looking down at a list there. You got something?
Yeah. I think one that might hit a bunch of people is the Orange Box.
Oh yeah, duh.
Yeah.
I left that for Sean.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
That's very generous.
No problem.
The Orange Box was on one of my short lists. My short list here, Sean, which apparently was one game more than Cicero. But Sean, why the Orange Box?
You know, I don't even have a particular attachment to it myself, but I just know like that was kind of the way people got into a bunch of like Valve games.
Right.
And just like having an accessible way to Half-Life and Portal at the same time.
Well, I mean, it introduced Portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I
mean, and you know, like that was one of those things where I think about a lot of games where you came for one thing and discovered another. If you think back to Zone of the Enders, when you played that game on the PlayStation so that you could get access to the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo, and then you stayed for Zone of the Enders. If you guys remember, the Halo 2 beta the Halo 2 multiplayer beta was attached to Crackdown.
Yes, it was.
And the original Crackdown.
No.
And,
Halo 3. It had to have
Halo
been.
3, Halo 3, right. Was attached to Crackdown, and people bought Crackdown so that they could play Halo. And then they realized, holy crap, I've got Crackdown. Like, that is, and that's what I think about when I think about the Orange Box. People thought like, oh man, I've got Half-Life 1 and 2 with the episodes and Team Fortress and this other game that people were talking about, but then it became the game that allowed you to play Portal. Like, that was what it was all about. And
Portal's such a special game too.
It is 100%.
Portal 2.
100%.
Portal 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, it kind of upped the ante, but Portal 1 obviously started it.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, Sean, do you have any other suggestions, or was that kind of it?
Not anything I'd knock anything else out.
I
honestly.
did do a quick Google search, and back on the PS3 and Xbox 360, they had a compilation, the Metal Gear Solid HD collection.
Sure.
So that could be a good suggestion for our list. And then finally, one that I did want to mention here that we didn't come across. If you guys remember, I think it might have been the GameCube. But the GameCube, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they had a compilation of The Legend of Zelda, the collector's edition of Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
So that might be a good suggestion as well. So let me write that on our list here, and then we will debate where they need to go. We'll go just Metal Gear.
Frog Fractions.
Metal Gear.
Just the one game. That's a compilation.
And then the Zelda one. Okay. So guys, what Sean, what do you think needs to be closer to the top? Let's start with that argument. What do you think needs to be closer to the top?
I am gonna pull for one of my own. I think Super Mario All-Stars, and I think the Rare Replay. I was sold by that.
Okay, so we're thinking Super Mario. Cicero, is it safe to say that, because I'm in agreement with Sean, at least on Super Mario All-Stars, is it safe to say that needs to be on our top 5?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is safe to say.
All right,
that is
sounds
definitely
good.
safe to say.
All right, I'm just going to put an exclamation point next to it. All right. Sean put a Rare Replay to be on there. Cicero, do you have another argument to get that on there?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would say that Rare Replay is, it was 30 games for $30.
Mm-hmm.
The presentation was incredible. The way that they compiled that group of games on your Xbox One was really incredible, utilizing backwards compatibility for certain games and then updating other games to full HD fidelity.
Mm-hmm.
On the Xbox One was really cool, and then I'm a sucker for gaming history, and that was there in spades, and the presentation was great. Rare Replay is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, Banjo-Kazooie really sells it for me all on its own. I love that game.
Yeah.
Sean, can we delete the Sega plug and play, or okay,
yeah, for sure.
All right,
Yeah,
sounds
absolutely.
good.
Nothing really special about that.
Gentlemen, I have to argue for the Master Chief Collection, and here's why. Halo 1 paved the way for console FPS, and for
100%.
Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Reach, which is
And
arguably
ODST.
Reach has arguably one of the best multiplayers out of the Halo franchise, and ODST, for it to be on one disc, I think it's incredible. If you don't mind, I would like that on the top 5.
I mean, if we're only going by the pedigree of the games within the compilation and what it teaches you about history, I mean, this new Super Mario 3D All Stars might need to be on there just because Mario 64 is on there, and you learn about the hard times that they had making 3D exist.
Okay.
Well, you get that
With that camera.
You get that in Rare Replay.
True. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can, which is funny because Banjo-Kazooie, also on the N64, did 3D space way better.
And it was still terrible.
64, and it was
and it was still terrible. Go ahead and play Rare Replay and play Banjo-Kazooie, and you can at me yet again.
I don't know.
And you'll be wrong.
That's the thing.
But
I don't think you can, Cicero, because I think they've completely fixed that, because in Rare Replay it's the HD edition that came to the Xbox Live Arcade, which I believe fixed it. So maybe
I played it, sir. so
no? Okay.
And I'm here to tell you.
I disagree.
So
and it's
fixed.
pronounced Mario.
That may have been the first game I totally got all of the trophies for.
Nice.
Okay, so we're adding Mario 3D All Stars to at least the consideration list.
Oh.
No, okay. All right. So we have Rare Replay. Are you guys okay with the Master Chief Collection on there, or?
Yeah. So we were with Super Mario All Stars. Yes.
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm. Super Mario All Stars.
So Rare Replay, Super
Rare
Mario
Replay.
All Stars, Master Chief Collection. Mm-hmm. We've got 3.
Yeah, I think maybe there's some more pivotal ones than. Although I love the new Tony Hawk, I think there's more pivotal ones. I'll argue for Sean's Orange Box. To be honest,
Orange Box is definitely on there for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with that. I am also going to make a very, very strong and compelling argument for what I erroneously called Midway Arcade Classics 1 and 2. It is Midway Arcade Treasures. Put respect on its name. 1 and 2.
Don't want to disrespect it,
So as a person who grew up with arcades, it is impossible for you to hear this list of games that was available on your consoles on a disc format and say that this is not one of the greatest or two of the greatest compilations of all time. So they were on DVDs before, but now they would be on Blu-ray, so they would be one disc if they re-released it. So we've got 720, the skateboarding game, if you guys remember that. Blaster, Bubbles, Defender, Defender 2, Gauntlet, Joust, Joust 2, Clax, Marble Madness, Paperboy, Rampage, Rampart, Road Blasters, Robotron 2084, Root Beer Tapper, Satan's Hollow, Sinistar, Smash TV, Spy Hunter, Super Sprint, Tubin.
Sean, do you think this should be on our top 5?
Right. APB, Arch Rivals.
I think I need to hear a little bit more.
Right. Championship Sprint, Cyberball 2072, Gauntlet 2, Hard Driving,
Cicero,
Cosmic Cruisers,
Cicero,
Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3,
let me
Narc,
stop you there.
Pit Fighter, Primal Rage, Rampage World Tour, Spy Hunter 2, Timber, Total Carnage, Wacko, Wizard of War, Xenophobe,
Mortal Kombat, notably the best world to live in,
and
as previously stated.
Zybots.
Okay, Cicero, I'm just going to complete your argument there. I think just purely on and we've had these arguments in leaderboards before in the past couple episodes that we've had. I think just purely on history and just the significance of some of those titles, I think it needs to be on our list. Sean, you okay with that?
Absolutely.
All right. So we have 5, ladies and gentlemen.
It was Zybots, right? Zybots.
Yeah, we heard it.
Best.
Yeah.
That was the one.
All right. So, the genre, video game defining. I think Super Mario All Stars needs to be one. Do you guys have any arguments on that?
So what's in
order these now?
What's in the Super Mario All Stars?
It's 1 through 3 and Lost Levels.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think that's it.
you're right.
Yeah.
I got it.
So I think it just needs to be number one for the significance of Super Mario Brothers alone, and just it's how it paved the way for console gaming in general. So let's put that at number one. Sean, make the case for number two. What do you think should be number two?
Cicero, can you list all those games?
Oh
again
yeah, no problem. Yeah, from memory.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the case.
All right, so Midway Arcade Classics, we're going number two. I'm okay with that being number two.
Right.
I am okay with that. If you don't mind, can I champion the Master Chief Collection for number three?
Oh no, yeah, that was number 3 for me, definitely.
Okay. Are you good for that, Sean? All
Yeah.
right.
I love a shooty stabby.
So for 4, I would say Rare Replay.
Okay, and why so?
Yeah, because there are games in there from all console generations. So you've got RC Pro-Am, you've got Perfect Dark, you've got Banjo-Kazooie, you've got Viva Pinata, and then even moving forward into this generation, and then not in the replay, but Sea of Thieves, the game that was so great that I couldn't remember the name of it, the pirate game. But another shout out to International Talk Like a Pirate Day, which was yesterday. Should have played some Sea of Thieves.
Should have.
Well, it wasn't yesterday, it was Saturday, but nonetheless. Rare Replay, lots of really, really great treasures. Battletoads.
Battletoads is on there.
Also part of part of that collection. So, some fantastic games in that collection.
Sean, do you think Orange Box should be number 4?
No,
Okay.
I think it could round out the bottom.
All
honestly,
right.
again, like that wasn't even my personal gateway, so I don't have a personal attachment to it. Honestly, and I think the Rare argument has been made pretty effectively.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our list. Starting off at the top, Super Mario All-Stars Midway Collection. Master Chief as number 3, number 4, Ray Replay, and 5, the Orange Box. That is our leaderboard. The top 5 game compilations. Let's see here. I believe the easiest way to play some of these Super Mario All-Stars is in Switch Online. The Midway Collection, is it backwards compatible on Xbox? Like, how can you play that?
Which one is this?
The Midway
Super
Collection?
Mario. Oh, the Midway Collection. You probably would have to find, because it was available on the PS2.
Okay.
And
so,
I think they re-released it for the. Actually, this is how you get to play it, guys. This is how you get to do it. We contact Phil Spencer. Right?
tell him to buy Midway.
No. He doesn't even have to do that. It was an OG Xbox game.
Okay. There you go.
All we have to do is just make sure that it's backwards compatible,
All right, sounds good.
and then you can play it on your Xbox family of consoles.
All right.
Via
Game Pass. Speaking of Game Pass, Master Chief Collection there, as well as the Rare Replay. The Orange Box, I don't know if it's backwards compatible, but you could definitely find all.
I think it is.
You think it is?
I think it is, yeah. From my time working at a video game retailer, Lame Flop, that was definitely one of the backwards compatible games that we had available for us.
All right, sounds good. So that is your leaderboard. Well, this has been First Take Episode 6. Cicero, Sean, you guys were phenomenal. Thank you so much for joining me. Cicero, where can we find you on Twitter? Where can we find you in the socials?
So you can find me in all sorts of places at Stubby Stan, in social media platforms. I will be standing on a hill, showing people how to correctly say Mario, as I have just done for this intrepid group right here, they are now seeing something that I have had queued up, which is the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, Episode 1, where Mario, played by Lou Albano, says his name for the first time. The very first time gamers have heard the character Mario say his name. It is said by Lou Albano. And that definitively ends any argument or conversation about how to properly pronounce that character's name. So you can also find that video from me if you'd like to at Stubby Stan. And check out all the other things that I'm doing, like the Discovery Debrief podcast, where we talk about Star Trek Discovery with last week's guest, Chris Clow. Or check out the Incomparable Podcast Network, where I am a frequent contributor, such as the latest episode, which, ironically enough, is a Star Trek draft, where we draft characters from the Star Trek universe and create our own show based on the characters that we have drafted.
There you go. That's a good one. That sounds like a fun episode. I think I might have to listen to that one. Sean, can we find you on socials? I'm not sure we can. Can we?
Oh, yeah, no, don't follow me. What you do instead is you subscribe to this podcast and just hope that Mike ever needs a guest again and chooses me. And that's the only way to find me.
Sean, it's really a pleasure to have you. Like I said, he's always been he's been a friend since high school, so very good to have you on the podcast. Well,
thank you for being a friend, man.
This is the 90s first take, where we debate the video game news that you follow as well. So I'm glad that we were able to hopefully entertain you. We're part of the 90s First Podcasting Network, which has has 3 shows right now, all 2 on 90s shows and movies, and then this show here. You can find us on socials at the 90s First everywhere, as well as our Patreon. So just share it out. We just want more people to listen. Sean, Cicero, let's wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This is the 90s First Take. We'll see you guys later.